Jason and his lotion is causing so much commotion, and it's ruining my show. I deeply regret inviting Jason on. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, like, we can all. I heard it. I heard my name out there, and I got paranoid. All right, cool, Jesse. Are we good? All right, you guys. Thank you so much for coming out to. Wait. We're good? Okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Don't. Oh, my God, Jason. Fuck. Can I just do my show, please? Can I just do it without Jason causing problems? Right? Okay. You guys, thank you so much for coming out to Letter Talk Live. I'm really excited to do this, and I'm really excited you guys all came out to have a good time and talk about this good stuff. So first of all, I just wanted to give you a quick welcome to the show, and just like a couple of informational things first. So what the fuck is this? Is always the main question. This is a 10-minute weekly podcast where I write letters to businesses, public figures, strangers, and friends. I guess it's a little misleading. I don't write them like here. For like I write them at home and then I bring them and then read them. So I really need to retool that. Anyway, my name is Alyssa. Also, nice to meet you guys. Thank you. Thanks, Robert. Thanks, guys. Another part of the welcome. Do you actually get responses? I've gotten this question before. So I write all these random letters. I send them out in the world. Do I get responses? And yes, I do. For example, I've been tweeted at by Chili's. They said, "Hey, Alyssa, thanks for your letter." And I was like, they didn't answer any of my questions, but they thanked me. And that's what's important. I had a back and forth with the egg lobby. And I say back and forth in that I wrote them a letter. They wrote me a letter. They like just roasting me real bad. And then I sent them a thank you card. They didn't write back. But yeah, the egg lobby, I like to call them Big Egg. Because, yeah, got an in with with Big Egg. If I were going to try to get elected for public office, I would probably get all my money from Big Egg. Also, the U.S. Patent Office sent me a packet. I sent them a letter asking them a bunch of questions. They didn't answer any of them. But they sent me a packet. It counts. It definitely counts. Now I need to just figure out something to patent. So if you guys have any ideas, I would like to fill out their forms and send it back. But I don't know. Can you patent a 10-minute long podcast? How many are there? Yeah, dude. I feel you. Also, I now have a friend who's a Norwegian teenager through this. And he sends me Instagram messages, and I'm like, that's not what this is about. This is about letters. Next question I get, Alyssa, can we laugh? And I get that because it's kind of like a quiet, like library type vibe. It's very chill. I'm very chill. I know I'm very soothing to everyone. So I get why you'd think you wouldn't be able to make noise. And to that I say, but of course you can laugh. But if you're going to laugh, it should be natural. If you're the type of person who's just like laughing maniacally during the whole thing, I'm just going to be worried about what plague I have wrought on this earth via my hilarious podcast hijinks. So, and then I'll be like, has the pleasure from my podcast gone too far? So yeah, you can like, just do you. Just be you. Oh, I put that question again. Must have really wanted to hammer it home. Has the pleasure from my podcast gone too far? Then I think maybe this podcast is so funny, it just made people bananas, the same way walking down a stairwell with a cigarette made that clown go bananas. I don't know. I have not seen that movie. I imagine that's what happened. Because it's basically just like Everything I've seen about the Joker is that he walks down some stairwells with a cigarette and then he's bananas. Like, must be a crazy stairwell. Either way, laugh if you want. It'll help the recording. And will you write me a letter? That's another question I get sometimes. And yes, I will. Yeah, I will write anyone a letter. I've written a letter to Mitch McConnell, and that guy has no friends. I still wrote him a letter. Thank you. There's actually a form on the lettertalk.com or lettertalkpodcast.com website if you want me to write you a letter. Or you can also mail me at the following address: 5716 Folsom Boulevard, number 177, Sacramento, California, 95819. And you're like, Alyssa, is that a P.O. box? And I'm like, no, it's my home. I live inside a small box at the UPS store near the Petco. Because you guys, rent in Sacramento is getting out of control. Am I right? I pay $20 a month, and it's the best deal I've been able to find. So, that being said, I'd love to introduce you guys to the show. We'll officially start it. Letter writing is a dying art. With the advent of social networking, text messaging, and ignoring your problems and loved ones, nobody writes letters anymore. Well, I'm here to push against the trend, to be like your dad who gets news from printed sheets of paper instead of consulting the internet. I'm just one stupid person who writes letters to anyone about anything, and I'd be honored to write one to you. My name is Alyssa, and this is Letter Talk. Thank you. This is actually exciting. We're going to open up the show with a special sponsor of the show.
This episode is sponsored by Spider Next Door. Have you ever needed info on how many spiders the human in your building eats? Needed to borrow some extra web materials or needed to find out where the darkest spots are?
Ooh, I like how dark it is here.
There are so many ways our spider neighbors could help us, but despite our many webs, us spiders don't have a social web. Introducing Spider Next Door. When spiders start talking, we get eaten less. Spider Next Door.
Thank you, Spider Next Door. Excellent sponsor of the show. Check them out if you happen to be a spider. Jesse, does this place have a lot of spiders? Okay, tight. Spider demo behind this wall, fucking wild. All right, so we got the first letter coming up. Dear Jeff Denham, hi there. My name is Alyssa, and I'm a California resident, and you used to represent some of us California folks in the House of Representatives. That's why I wanted to reach out to you. I found out that you're one of the people who received some of the most money in 2018 election from the gas and oil industry. And since you're working at a big mega law firm now, you might still have some sway with them. By the way, he lost re-election. Jeff Denham. I think he represented like Modesto or something. Central California. You guys heard of it. Anyway. First of all, I wanted to say that I had no idea you were also a lawyer and a former member of Congress. I always remembered Jeff Denham as that guy that has a bunch of puppets on stage with him. And his puppets would say wacky stuff. The guy I dated when I was 20 really liked your work. I didn't really get it. Also, my sister says she won't watch your puppet stuff because she doesn't like vaudevillian acts. I always thought it was really weird that the large man would be appalled at the stuff the small man would say, and I'm like, aren't you the small man and the large man, though? I guess it was just hard for me to suspend my belief while watching, which is a big statement coming from someone who will watch 10 hours of pretend fighting a week. So, Mr. Jeff Denham, is that how it's pronounced? Like denim? Like the clothes? Like, I would just say you might want to check your permanent record because I could easily see the cops hassling some youths. And when they ask for a name, a youth, probably high on what everyone's dad calls, quote unquote, the grass from their quote unquote vape, might just say Jeff. And then after a long pause, look down at their pants and say, Denham. Jeff Denham is my name. So there might be a cop writing up a report about you somewhere. Who knows? Oh. Anyway, Mr. Denham, I'm writing to you as a liaison to the gas and oil industry. I have a few thoughts. First of all, I know Oregon and New Jersey still have that weird thing where people have to pump the gas for you. And I read somewhere it's because of how dangerous it can be to pump gas. Is it really too dangerous? Like, is it that only people from Oregon and New Jersey cause that many dangers while pumping gas? It just seems to me like driving the car is more dangerous than getting the gas. So maybe we need to hire people to drive us all around and we shouldn't drive. And then that means we also wouldn't have to pump the gas. So it's like double safe? I don't know. What do you think? The second thing I have to ask is just a personal question. Like, do you ever go into meetings regarding the gas and oil industry and then like walk into a room saying, I got gas? And then you just high five everyone, and everyone's just laughing, and then you're laughing, and like no one can stop laughing, cause shit, I would do that nonstop. I would do that nonstop if I worked anywhere within the gas world, and I feel like, you know, so many times it would be a joke, and then other times it would have a double meaning. What a world we live in, right? But seriously, here's the real reason I'm writing you a letter. And it's because there's something I'm wondering that you can help with. This problem has plagued me for as long as I've known about it. Throughout most of my life, I've always lived near a gas station. Hold on, I should have this music. This problem has plagued me for as long as I've known about it. Throughout most of my life, I've always lived near a gas station. And as you know, gas stations are great for when you just need last-minute things and you don't have energy to go very far. I found myself wandering over to gas stations often for cough drops if I start to feel sick. But the problem is, gas stations only ever have the cough drops that taste fucking gross. Sure, they blow a hole through whatever mucus situation ails ya, but they taste like suckling on the top of a broken aromatherapy diffuser. Would it be possible for you to send a memo to all your little buddies and just ask them to have cough drops that don't taste so awful that you just start to reconsider being sick and coughing because it might taste better? Oh, also tell them to stop running out of White Castle cheeseburgers. They know we're coming for them. Tell them to get more. Anyway, Mr. Denham, I'm hoping you can pull some strings with your industry knowledge, you know. Pull some strings, seeing as you're the ultimate puppet master. Hope to talk to you soon. Your gassy lassie friend, Alyssa. All right. Next up, we have I got a postcard that I sent to DoorDash. And you can't tell from the picture, it's Totoro, and he's carrying a bag, and the bag is labeled White Castle, and he's labeled DoorDash. And then May is behind him, and May is me chasing the DoorDash. And the back of it says, Dear DoorDash, how much would it cost to get DoorDash to deliver me White Castle from the closest location? I think it's in Scottsdale, Arizona. I know it's not listed as an option, but I figured that maybe it's not on the menu, like when you order things, quote, animal style, unquote. There's always hope there. Got another letter. Here we go. Dear David Reif, Hi there, how are you? I found you from your profile on LinkedIn. I see that you're the Vice President of Manufacturing for White Castle, which is really great. I didn't think I'd bumped into a legend on LinkedIn on accident. My name is Alyssa. I'm a current White Castle fan and a former journalism student. But I like to think I'm still a student. Just now, I'm a student of life. In that I still like to drink beer, I've gained 15 pounds, and I still have a bunch of books that I was supposed to read, but I haven't read yet, and I hope nobody tests me on them. Also, I write a bunch of shit the night before and hope nobody notices. Present show excluded. Anyway, I found your LinkedIn page because I was trying to Google my college journalism advisor to see what he was up to, and I guess I spelled his name wrong, and you came up instead, and that's all right. It would be nice to have a new perspective on my career from a random person assigned to me by fate again. My advisor from college once described my grades as good, nothing to sniff at, but I know you can do better. Which, to be fair, is how I describe most of my quality of work. But, I mean, I guess you can always do better, right? Maybe my old advisor was just a pessimistic person. I was going to say that you can't actually get perfect grades, but then I remembered that a 4.0 GPA was actually a thing. I still have to say, I owe my college professor, my old, fuck. I still have to say I owe my old college advisor mad props for giving me a sympathy B-, even though I probably had a C-level performance in his particular class. I used to fall asleep in it all the time. Sometimes while taking notes during his lectures, I would fall asleep in the middle of writing a sentence and then wake up and finish the sentence. So I had a lot of notes that didn't make any sense. But in my defense, it was the earliest class I had ever had in college up to that point. It started at 9:45. That time of day is very hard for a 19-year-old douchebag. Sometimes I'd make it through that class and just go sleep in the extended cab of the pickup truck I borrowed from my dad to drive to school. Also, I had a hard schedule, you guys. I would take between 15 or 18 credits a semester. I worked 25 to 30 hours a week, and I had a serious profession of playing World of Warcraft for at least 5 hours a day. My schedule went like this: 9:45 until 4-ish, school. Work from 5 to 9. 10 to 4 a.m. World of Warcraft. That will make you fall asleep at a 9:45 a.m. class. And what's sad is I wasn't even good at World of Warcraft. But hey, you guys, college is about exploring your skill sets and finding which ones suit you. Me, playing a mage, didn't suit me. Playing a healer still didn't suit me. I didn't even want to try to play melee. I was like, what are you doing, girl? You can't even play the easy ones. So since that old college advisor is gone, because I don't know how to spell his name, he's probably dead, I needed to ditch that zero and get myself a hero, and that's you, Mr. Rife. Would you mind giving me some feedback on my post-college career? Maybe tell me if I'm on the right track or if my work is nothing to sniff at, but you can do better. I printed out a copy of my LinkedIn so you can review it and see where I might need advising in the school of life. Oh, also, while I have you on the horn, and since you're the vice president of manufacturing for White Castle, can you tell me why the fuck it seems like gas stations and grocery stores are always out of White Castle cheeseburgers? Or am I just cursed? Also, I really don't want to have to buy the hamburger White Castles, because then I'd have to put my own cheese on it. And that would give me flashbacks to when my dad bought the 39-cent hamburger deals at McDonald's, and then we'd take them home and we'd put our own cheese on them. And then one time I ate 2 cheeseburgers like that and I barfed. That is not info on my LinkedIn. Please let me know if this anecdote would be a good thing to put on my LinkedIn. I look forward to hearing back from you. Cheers, Alyssa. Thanks. Oh, man. I'm really excited. We have another sponsor of the podcast, but this time it's another podcast, and I'm really excited to plug for you guys. Hey, everybody. It's Alyssa, and I'm here to introduce to you my new podcast, Slapknot, a podcast about how the band Slipknot fucking slaps. You'll find out why Slipknot's music fucking slaps and which songs of theirs in particular slap hella hard. Here's a hint, it's all of them! I'll even bring on experts to give you valuable insight about their music and masks. Insight like, I think the spikes mean he's angry. And other insight like, as you can tell by the discoloration on his mask, he's probably trying to creatively express a skin rash he's struggling with. Check out Slapknot, a podcast about how the band Slipknot fucking slaps, and join the party. Hope you guys get into that one too. We're gonna release a few episodes. Gonna pitch it to NPR and see if they pick it up. I think it's got legs, guys. Here's a postcard I sent out. It's so on the cover, on the front of the postcard, it says the Holy Trinity, and it's a drawing of salt, butter, and sugar. And on the other side, it says, "Dear In-N-Out, I ordered my fries animal style, and they came topped with melty American cheese, buttery melted caramelized onions, and a signature fry sauce. I was expecting animal style to mean that someone was going to toss them at my face so I could catch them while people looked on really impressed. Disappointing." And boy, was it. We actually have another ad read that I'm going to need help from my special assistant, a special guest. You guys, please welcome to the stage the very funny, very lovely, and talented Jason Mack.
Yes. That's in my name.
Yeah. You promised to do an ad read for me.
I did. Oh yeah. Hi everybody.
Okay.
Is this on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, hold
Gotta
on.
be close.
Yeah, you got to get close, and the ad read needs music, so you need to wait for a second.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Oh.
Oh, damn.
I guess I thought it was on because I was just talking louder. Is this on? It wasn't on.
What is a microphone if not just talking louder, you know what I mean? You're just a natural microphone.
I am.
Okay.
A wondrous world is coming to your TV and devices. Something exciting, something authentic. Everything will change. It's a landscape of excitement where all your favorites live. Introducing C-SPAN Plus. Watch all your favorite congressional hearings, boring-ass floor debates, and press conferences all with the click of your mouse. Find all your favorites, from the impeachment hearings to the 1994 Senate Subcommittee hearing on appropriations to the travels of the weird-ass C-SPAN bus nobody knows we have. At only $29.99 a month, why would you need any other streaming service? C-SPAN Plus, the best congressional testimony in the world, all in one place.
I'm signing up right now. Thank you to our sponsor, C-SPAN Plus. I hope you guys are getting into it. It's going to fucking rock the whole world. It's going to rock it so hard. So this is a replay of a letter that I sent out back in January because I got a response to it. So here's how the letter went. It was, "Dear Mr. Phil Towley. Do you guys know how to pronounce it? Towley? I don't know. I'm writing to you because it's now 2019. Okay, remember, this is in January that I wrote this. I'm writing to you because it's now 2019, and it's a new year, so that means it's a new me. I thought about some changes that I'd like to make for the future and how I want my life to be different. I thought it would make sense to seek out a life coach. I found out that you were Metallica's life coach from a clickbait article I found about life coaching. I must apologize in advance that I don't plan to watch the Metallica documentary you're in, but hey, congrats. I've never been in a documentary, but one time I might have been in the background of some footage some comedians were filming that might have gotten into some documentary-looking video thing. I was drinking picklebacks and telling my friend about some guy I most definitely never had a relationship with at the time. He made that pretty clear to me later, and I was like, haha, whoops. Whoopsie doodle. Hold on, this is going to be good. Okay. Anyway, I realized that most of my problems aren't super metal. So I figure these might be a total cakewalk for you. Also, I'm just one person instead of 4 or 5 metal dudes who are fighting. I guess I fight with myself a little bit sometimes, but it's never as intense if I were 2 people. That's looking on the bright side of life, a thing I try to do. Anyway, Mr. Towley, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. In the letter, I'm not sure I'm saying this right, but out loud, that's like where that's where I worry about it. Fuck, that didn't make that sentence. I was not good at writing in January. So, Mr. Towley, every day I'm trying to become a better person in all areas of my life. And I know that there are places that I'm lacking. One thing that comes to mind is that I turn into a bummer sometimes, especially if I'm stressed and anxious. I just become no fun. I get annoyed more easily and a lot more irritable. Then I get too sassy for my own taste and just feel bad about it. How did Metallica face these challenges? I would ask them directly, but I know that when they're passionate, I can't really understand a word they're saying. How do you learn to not beat yourself up? This is probably one of those problems that's harder to solve as a coach when it's one person versus 2 people. Because if it's 2 people, you can just be like, hey, stop beating up the other person. And hopefully that should work. If it doesn't, you can call the cops. Or at least have the general manager come out and ring a bell and declare it an official match like they do in wrestling. If I'm beating myself up too much, I can't call the cops. I've tried. They don't want to hear I'm making myself feel worse and I wish I would stop. The cops have bigger fish to fry, like working on the case of scaring the people who stole my credit card information to buy Domino's pizza. You know, the important things. My next question is not tied to beating yourself up. It's all about prevention. Preventing yourself from missing your goals so you don't beat yourself up. How do you actually achieve your goals? I feel like half of mine take a shit every year. Like, what's up with that? I told my book reading app that I was going to read twice as many books. I didn't, and now it's cemented on the internet. Alyssa failed at reading in 2018. Someday my grandkids can look up how little I read in 2018. Books weren't my only goal. I had some other ones, but honestly, I forgot what most of them were. I don't even remember if I had them written down. There are probably a lot of scribbles somewhere with the mumblings of some of my intentions for the year. The biggest one was just like stay afloat. The second biggest one was probably if you see a bug, don't shout abusively at it. It doesn't know what you're saying. I don't think I reached a lot of my goals from last year, except the biggest one I had, which was just come home for good. Do you think that one is big enough to cancel out all of my year's failures? Does it work like that? Can we just like fudge it in the rule book? Because what's weird about January of 2018 and January of 2019 is that I'm sitting here in an apartment, bereft of furniture like I've in my first ever apartment. I'm listening to 8 dogs barking, having a fraction of the local social network I used to have. And if you ask me if I was better off now than I was then, I would say yes. And hey, I've already accomplished my first goal of the year, which is write letters. I don't know. What do you think about my prospects? Any insider coaching you could give me would be very much appreciated. Happy New Year. Love, Alyssa. So, I send a lot of these letters out. Like, I've sent, like, probably more than, like, 150 of these things out if I actually, like, calculate it. And I don't really get responses from a lot of them. And so sometimes when I get responses, I panic. Like, if I get something in the mail, I, like, panic because I'm like, I hope they're not mad at me. And he actually, Phil Towley, the Metallica coach from the Some Kind of Monster documentary, is that what it's called? Steven's Corner, you might know. Okay, you know, okay, yeah. So he actually like emailed me back, and anyway, Jason's gonna read the letter because he probably sounds more like him. It went like this.
He used a lot of ellipses, so I didn't know how to quite communicate that without, but I think it's a little creepy, so hello, Alyssa. This is Phil Towley, to whom you wrote an inviting letter that I just received from Wander today by email. WTF, frowny face. Hey, a postmark from January 22nd is embarrassing to finally catch up with on March 22nd.
And how embarrassing is it that I am thinking about this on November 16th?
But at least I immediately tracked you down. Because I am interested in seeing if I can be of help. And since you are not about watching some kind of monster, I will not watch your comedic adventures until we Skype, Zoom, FaceTime, or something visual. Hurry up, because I really, really do want to see what you have going for you. I'm in a serious mood to laugh. So do me the favor of reconnecting, not by letter. What's with snail mail? You can text me at or email me here, and let's set up a talk. Thanks for reaching out. Phil.
So I wanted to have you read that because I was hoping you had some. What should I do? I'm afraid. He says that he wants to reconnect, which we didn't really connect, did we? I mean, like, the letter was pretty heartfelt, I will say, but he says like not by snail mail. What am I supposed like? Email
I don't know.
him?
Yeah.
Email with a stranger, so you can have my email address instead of my home address of the UPS post office box that I live inside of near the Petco.
So is he a therapist or is he just what is his deal?
He's like I think he is a credentialed therapist and life coach and Metallica expert.
Okay. Cuz do you need a therapist? Do you
No-
need a life coach?
No. Well, okay, I don't have a life coach. I have one of those internet therapy people that, you know, the ones that they always advertise for on podcasts that are not mine. That I have one of those, but I have the cheap plan. I have the cheap plan where you only pay like $50 a month, and they'll like talk to you once a week, and like maybe. It's really like typing your problems to like a wall. My problems.
You can get a local therapist. You know they have them.
It's hard to.
They have
like,
them
they-
wherever you may roam.
they didn't like my insurance covers that, but they didn't like email me back or snail mail me back or like. And then I call like the ones that I googled, like they had like they were all in like the Sacramento Bee for doing like bad stuff. And like I was like, well, my insurance covers that lady. I don't know, man.
Well, do you feel like you're getting help? Because nothing else matters.
Yeah, no, I feel like he snuck it in. Hold on.
Oh. I'm even more humiliated.
Or is this one better?
Oh. Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make you sad.
I have like 6 other Metallica puns.
This will make you feel better. Nothing makes me feel better than some ska. This is what I wait, what?
I saw that on the thing. It says ska.mp3 and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I wonder what that is. It looks like it's actually like 3 minutes of ska.
Yeah, no, it's 3 minutes of ska. This is whenever I type to my internet therapist, I just play this. And I'm like, suddenly I don't think I should be giving you money. I'm too happy now. Yeah, you never thought the horns were gonna come in, did ya?
I assumed it was going to be like 5 seconds of horns, but from the start.
Dog. I mean, I guess he messaged that in March. Like, I think is it long enough that maybe, should I just email him back in a year and be like, so sorry, it's been so busy.
I don't know.
I've been so busy at work.
It wasn't a great response. I don't know what you can get out of replying again. It was a weird.
I'm afraid he's gonna charge me money. That's where the stories of letter talk just stop. It's just like I'll correspond with someone and then they're like, "You want to give us money?" And I'm like, "Wait, no, that's not what letter talk's about. It's not about paying money. It's not about making money. It's just about making letters, baby." looking for awe. We can play ska again. Actually, what's appropriate is we should just keep the ska going because this point of the show ends the actual Letter Talk show. But we have something else in store for you. The Letter Talk show may be over, but we actually have another show coming on after it, and that's called Letter Talk Talk After the Talk. And this is a really great show where we just it's like Talking Dead, you know how they like talk about what happened in the episode. This is what we have. We have Letter Talk Talk After the Talk. So I'm super excited to introduce you to Letter Talk Talk After the Talk. Welcome my guest. I'm Chris Hardwick, and please welcome my guest, Jason Mack.
Hey. Hey. Wow.
Yeah.
What a show, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's so great.
Lot to unpack here.
And it's so great to have Jason on because he's the host of Talking Letter Talk, a Letter Talk fan cast, and which for some reason gets more downloads than Letter Talk. So it's a little embarrassing, but it's also an honor to have Jason here. Big Letter Talk head. Is that what they called?
Yeah, that's what we're
Talkies?
called. That's what we're called.
So great. Yeah. No, it's great. We've actually have some clips and some behind the scenes photos of Letter Talk ready for you to go. Really exciting. Yeah, here, you guys, let's play like our first recap clip. My advisor from college once described my grades as good. Nothing to sniff at, but I know you can do better. Which, to be fair, is how I describe most of my quality of work. But, I mean, I guess you can always do better, right? Maybe my old advisor was just a pessimistic person. That's crazy. What do you think I meant by that?
I don't know. That one kind of stuck out. Do you think it's deeper than it is on the surface?
Man, I think everything's deeper than it is on the surface.
Wow. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Like, did you hear that letter from the Metallica guy? Like, there's got to be something else there, right?
Yeah, like I think he's a pedophile. Like
he's not, I don't know how you could be a pedophile. I'm 31.
the dots.
Oh, I thought he was just a boomer, like, you know, the pedo. They're the thing. Well, because if you worked with anybody who's like who is like your mom, like if you worked in a workplace with your mom, because then there's lots of ellipses for some reason.
Yeah, he's not good at correspondence.
Yeah, we're actually gonna open it up in case people want to like tweet questions about that. We're accepting questions for the show.
Like right now?
Yeah, well, you're on stage. You can just ask them.
Oh.
I put up a thing in case. No pressure, but that's how Talking Dead worked, right? I don't remember.
I've never seen it.
How did Talking Saul work?
Was that a show?
They made a Talking Saul. They made a Talking Bad. They just made Talking with Chris Hardwick.
That's weird because it's not like the name goes like with Walking Dead.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
it wasn't called Walking
It's like the
Saul.
pun for the name of every show is Walking Saul.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm starting to think that maybe that show format isn't the greatest. Anyway, we have another clip from the show. I would take between 15 or 18 credits a semester. I worked 25 to 30 hours a week, and I had a serious profession of playing World of Warcraft for at least 5 hours a day. What is this girl up to, you guys? Do you think that's real? Come on. Do you think that's real? That's a lot of World of Warcraft.
That's a lot of college.
That is a lot of college.
I'm taking one college right now. That's too much for me.
One college?
Yeah.
How many degrees do you take if you get one college?
0.
Oh, damn.
Did you have a degree? Did you finish?
Yeah, I have 2.
What'd you get?
Brag. 2 degrees. Yeah.
And now you have a local podcast clip show.
Empire.
Look how far you've come.
True. Yeah, no, I got 2 of them. I one in journalism and one in economics. I wish I didn't say that out loud because I sound like, oh, look at all education over here. We actually have some behind the scenes photos too from Letter Talk that I'm really excited to share with you guys. These are never before photos from the the making of Letter Talk. So we got behind the scenes photos. So yeah, this was actually during the writing of Letter Talk. See, this was during the production of Letter Talk. So there's that too, and this was when we actually had to try to pull in extra help to complete the Letter Talk episode. So we have that going on. So, oh wow, we got a question from the audience. Have you considered the possibility that maybe the O in Towley is long and the E is silent? Oh, like toll. Wait,
Tool?
What's the long O? I didn't get an English degree. It was journalism. Toll.
I think he's saying his name is Tool.
Tool. Oh.
At least.
Ooh.
At least that's. Or he just knows how to pronounce his name and
Yeah,
is just making us look like idiots.
That is the rule they taught us in grade school about words ending with E. Ooh.
Is it?
I don't know. I don't remember any of grade school. Anyway, I'll give your comment a thumbs up. Oh, wait, I can't. I'll log in later and give it a thumbs up. We actually have, before we get out of here, we got one more clip that we wanted to talk about. Great replay from the show. One thing that comes to mind is that I turn into a bummer sometimes, especially if I'm stressed or anxious. I just become no fun. I get annoyed more easily and a lot more irritable. Then I get too sassy for my own taste and I just feel bad about it. Now, what do you guys think? Was that relatable or was it just...
I really like the way you filled out the last 20 minutes of the show. I think that's brilliant. That's how you got through doing 22 units of school, right? You worked really hard for 12, and then you just kind of copy and paste your way through the end. I took a picture, too, as we're sharing pictures of the show. This is 40 minutes ago, you guys. Yeah. I think that was great. It's just showing them a picture on my cell phone for the people listening at home.
Like you're bragging about how you have a cell phone. Some people don't. You know, one time I was sad I didn't have a cell phone. Then I met a man with no shoes.
Ooh.
And I was like, that's fucked up. Do you want a cell phone? And then he used it for shoes. Anyway, I'm saying I'm a good person.
You're a good person.
Thank you. I feel better. Yes, thank you. Oh, man, I should get I don't know. I can only store 24 clips at a time, so I have to be really picky about them. That's why I'm like really confused as to why like ska was such a priority. I was like, I only have 24 clips. I'm gonna make one of them ska. Actually, that being said, I do have to close out the show. So this happens ska's gonna keep going. It's either ska or wacky music. Who could listen to that for 3 minutes? I'd rather listen to ska. I wish I had an actual Slipknot song in here to play. So this show happens every third Saturday at 7 p.m. right here in Stab Comedy Theater. Thanks for having me, Stab. Woo! Shout out to Jesse. He runs a great ship. You can check the show out at lettertalkpodcast.com. And if you liked the show, tell a friend. It would be much appreciated. The show's online if you want to actually listen to the episodes and see how they turn out and listen to the back catalog. That's a tall order, but they're short. They're only 10 to 15 minutes long, so if you're fast at washing dishes or you have a short commute or other things, there's stickers out front. There's also a little email sign-up thing. If you sign up for the email list, I'll send you an email, be like, hey, do you want free tickets? And then you can respond and say yes. Or you can say, no. Ska version of Slipknot. Fuck. Woo. You just named the thing that I guess that's what I'm working for in the rest of my life toward. I heard them mash up with Backstreet Boys or something, and it was pretty tight. But I will look for a ska version of Slipknot. I will commission to have one made. All right. Thanks again for coming, everybody. Have a good night.